Hi again, everybody. It's Mr. Powell here to discuss geography testing. You'll see in the Week 6 resources that for American history we have our first test preparation phase for geography. And so I wanted to explain in a little video blog entry how the geography testing works and how the geography test preparation works. Geography evidently is a very straightforward subject when we're talking about learning political, geographical place names. It's a matter of repetition and rote memorization. So it's an exercise that we have to do regularly all the way through as we study history in order to reinforce the place names that we're learning in history. And so the exercises that I suggest for geographical tests, for testing of geographical knowledge, are very straightforward. They involve these testing sheets, which you will have access to on the web page. And they're based on and very similar to the testing sheets, or rather the exercises that you do on the students do on a weekly basis to record the place names. For instance, this is American geography, so states, state capitals, postal abbreviations, rivers, major bodies of water, that sort of thing. The tests are merely a way of completing and integrating that geographical place name learning. And so on, we do it on a fairly continual basis. Every 6 to 8 weeks or so there's going to be a test on the states, and or when you get to it, Canadian provinces, South American countries, and so on. So let's just look at this particular example because the tests are always formatted in the same way. There are multiple difficulty levels and there are multiple testing levels. What is the distinction? Well, here we have difficulty level 1 for test number 1. This happens to be the test preparation sheets. You'll notice that the test and the test preparation sheets are identical. So with geography, it's just a matter of memorization and stating and writing out the names, so there's no need for it to be any different. So looking at this test preparation sheet, what do we have? We have, this is evidently American history, and we have most of the states are grayed out. And then we have the ones that the students have to designate that are simply in white with their capitals located and with rivers designated that the students should enter the names for. So what do students do on this type of exercise? Well, they simply write in the information from memory, and if they don't, and then what happens is what they can do from memory, you check and you verify. What they can't do from memory, they look up. Then once they've looked it up and they've written it down, they go through the exercise of just stating them to themselves. You can use you can encourage them to use any number of techniques such as flashcards for the process of memorization. But what they do is they have to memorize what they didn't already know. And then you print out another copy of this and they try again. And once at difficulty level 1, they filled in all of this information, they're done, they move to difficulty level 2. And as you can see, difficulty level 2 is just more. So every test has a number of difficulty levels where the quantity of information, the quantity of states or countries as the case may be, goes up, and the students have to fill in more and more of them. So that's the difficulty levels change from sheet to sheet. What you also have though on the test is what I call testing levels. So let's say this is difficulty level 1. On this test preparation sheet, you also have testing levels. That means, let's say for a lower L student, maybe what you are going to require of them is simply to indicate the state names. That's perhaps, if there are 30 states on a test, that's quite a lot of work for a 7-year-old. So the testing level you could also think of the testing level as being lower L, upper L, junior high. It doesn't necessarily work out that way, but that might make it easier for you to understand the difference. But basically, the lowest testing level is just state names. Then the second testing level is state names and their capitals. And then the third testing level is state names, capitals, postal abbreviations, and rivers. So for an advanced student, starting off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 states, they should quite readily be able to do the state names, the capitals, the postal abbreviations, and the rivers. And so on difficulty level 1, they would do all of that. They would be operating at the highest testing level. So it's up to you to determine what level is appropriate for your students. You could have them test at difficulty level 1 and testing level 1. You could have them prepare for difficulty level 2 and difficulty level 1 and testing level 2, or difficulty level 1 and testing level 3. Or if they are strong in the subject, then you have them move up to the next difficulty level and a higher testing level as well. So you have two different ways of incrementing the difficulty level for the students. Either you change what I call the difficulty level, or you change the testing level. And so the students get a chance to do this as an open book exercise when they're working on test preparation. And once they've had I usually give my students about a week to do that work and to prepare. It's an intensive exercise. You might do it 30 minutes a day. That would be approximately what I would advise. And depending on how good the students are at this type of work, advanced students I would certainly expect to get all the way to difficulty level 3 or 4 and testing level 3. In other words, all of the information that's being asked. With younger students who are not very accustomed to this sort of work, they might only do difficulty level 1 and testing level 1. So again, as a homeschooling product, it's up to you as parents to figure out which of those it is you're going to do. Okay, so I hope that helps with the geography test preparation exercise. And of course, contact me if you have any additional questions. Bye for now.